Lewis Hamilton has sent his own team an ominous warning for next season, saying that Mercedes is aware of what needs to be done during the winter to catch up with Red Bull. Is he on the verge of French exiting the team should they not be up to par in 2024? That, and his rivalry with Fernando Alonso reignited after the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in today's video. So, don't go anywhere. Hamilton crossed the finish line in the 9th position after facing a challenging race that involved front wing damage. He also expressed his belief that he was brake tested by Fernando Alonso as they approached turn 5 during the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Even though he had already secured the 3rd spot in the Drivers' Championship, Mercedes managed to do just enough to retain their 2nd position in the Constructors' standings as the checkered flag fell on Sunday. As we wind down the year for 2023, attention will soon shift to the 2024 campaign, with work already underway on next season's cars. Hamilton expressed concern about the significant lead Max Verstappen had at the checkered flag on Sunday, clinching his 19th win in 22 races this season. Even though Mercedes secured the position of best of the rest, they trailed far behind the dominant drivers and constructors champions this season, prompting Hamilton to reflect. When asked about his takeaways from the 2023 season as a whole, Hamilton shared his thoughts after a somewhat disappointing weekend in Abu Dhabi to close out the season. He told Sky Sports F1, "Not too much really, it's not been a great year in general, so there's not a lot to take from the year in general. It's the fact that I survived it, probably, that's about it." Mercedes faces a long winter ahead as they aim to kick off the 2024 season on a strong note, attempting to challenge Red Bull. Hamilton has opened up about the efforts he's putting in behind the scenes to contribute to the team's preparations for the upcoming season. Despite maintaining constant communication with his team at the Brackley base, Hamilton is looking forward to some well-deserved downtime following a demanding 22-race campaign. With testing scheduled for late February, the 7-time world champion acknowledged that, in terms of influencing further developments on the car, it's now in the hands of the team. When questioned about Mercedes' potential to compete at the beginning of the 2024 season, he said that it's up to the team to deliver. At this moment, I don't really know. For Red Bull to win by 17 seconds in the end, and they haven't developed their car since August, is definitely a concern. But we've learned a lot about the car, and it's just down to the team now. They know what they need to do. Whether or not we'll get there, we'll see. Aston Martin's Fernando Alonso responded with a bit of playful humour to accusations of brake testing from Lewis Hamilton at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, casually brushing off the matter after the race. Hamilton believed that his longtime competitor deliberately applied the brakes well before the Turn 5 hairpin at Yas Marina. This occurred as the Mercedes driver exited the pit lane mid-race, prompting an FIA investigation into erratic driving. Ultimately, they opted for no further action. Hamilton was of the opinion that Alonso significantly decelerated well before the corner, causing him to make an unnatural change in direction. When asked about his perspective on the incident, Hamilton shared his views with the media after the race, saying, "Well, we were flat out at 400 metres, 300 metres before the corner and doing 180 miles an hour, and the guy all of a sudden slowed down drastically ahead of me." Alonso didn't align with the viewpoint of his former McLaren teammate, recognising the strategic move of attempting to secure the DRS advantage down the lengthy back straight after the hairpin. Recalling a similar incident over a decade ago in Montreal, Alonso referred to that moment as part of his defence for why he opted to decelerate. However, he added a playful touch, jokingly claiming victory in both instances against his former colleague. When questioned by PlanetF1.com about Hamilton's allegations of brake testing at Turn 5, Alonso responded with a smile, then proceeded to say, "Nothing. Lewis obviously is very clever, understands the sport really, really good and has a lot of experience, but I have more." When pressed about his reaction to Hamilton's complaints over the team radio, Alonso replied, "Yes and no. I mean, we did the same in Canada, I think in 2012, so 11 years after that episode, we tried just to give the DRS to the other guy braking for Turn 5. But yeah, in both cases I won, so it's okay." Ralf Schumacher has claimed that Toto Wolff seems either bored or perplexed these days, expressing doubt that the seemingly directionless Mercedes team is following the same path as their old rivals, Ferrari. With Red Bull's dominance in this year's championship, both Mercedes and Ferrari faced the challenge of recovering from a lackluster start. They now find themselves in second and third place in the Constructors' Championship, with just 4 points separating them. It has been a season of highs and lows for both teams, with the acknowledgement that during pre-season testing they were already aware that their cars did not have the qualities needed to win a world championship. As the season finale approached, Ferrari made notable progress, but the same cannot be said for Mercedes. The team expressed frustration and annoyance following the Brazilian Grand Prix, where they were significantly off the pace. In the previous race in Las Vegas, they only managed to secure 7th and 8th positions. During the weekend, team boss Wolff had a heated outburst at the media, resulting in a warning from the FIA. Overall, these developments have left Schumacher concerned about Mercedes' prospects for 2024. The former F1 driver, now turned Sky Sports pundit, shared his apprehensions, as reported by motorsport.com. To be honest, Mercedes is a little surprise bag. For me, we always have a bored or perplexed Toto Wolff in our interviews, who has sometimes made a distant impression lately. You get the feeling that the team isn't falling apart at the moment, but that it's a little headless. The drivers and their relationship haven't alleviated the situation either, with tensions appearing to rise between Lewis Hamilton and George Russell. The two had on-track clashes and exchanged words over the radio in Japan and Qatar. The latter incident resulted in a did not finish DNF for Hamilton as he and Russell collided at turn 1 on the opening lap. But the younger Briton has also made mistakes, with the most recent one occurring in Las Vegas, where he was penalised for a clash with Max Verstappen. Schumacher went on to say, "The two drivers don't seem to be indifferent to each other. You can tell George's nerves have become thin for his standards. He makes a lot of mistakes and is very aggressive when driving. Mercedes still has a lot of work to do." Ralf Schumacher may want to watch his tone when talking about Toto Wolff, because when provoked, the Mercedes team boss punches back. He has reacted to receiving a formal warning from the stewards following his impassioned press conference in Las Vegas last weekend. Both Toto Wolff and Ferrari team boss Fred Vasseur received warnings after employing colourful language in front of reporters for different reasons. Vasseur's frustration stemmed from the severe damage to Carlos Sainz's car in FP1, which drew his ire. Mercedes team principal and CEO Wolff, on his end, criticised a journalist for what he perceived as ongoing negative coverage of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. He asserted that Carlos Sainz's incident with a manhole cover did not warrant branding it a black eye for the sport. Vasseur and Wolff received formal warnings and were reminded of their responsibilities after being summoned to the stewards in Abu Dhabi on Thursday. Rather than expressing frustration at the action taken, Wolff took the perspective that, as one of the sport's most public figures, he should be held accountable. He said, "I find it very good that we remind all stakeholders who have a public profile that we are responsible with what we say in the media and on telly. If it is Fred and I going to the stewards, if we can trigger a general change of approach of the stewards and the FIA to sanction swearing, then that's good. Nobody should use the F word in the car or outside the car. We should be role models for the many fans we have, especially the young ones. I think that's important." Wolff added that he might have felt provoked by the reporter in question, considering the context of their coverage of the sport in the past. However, when asked if he had learned a lesson from his response, he replied, "I will never learn that lesson. When I'm being provoked, I punch back. Double assault. That's what I learned from life, unfortunately." Will Mercedes find its groove and give Red Bull a proper fight come next season, or are their competitive years over? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section down below. And, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks for watching.